So good evening, everybody. Seeing that we have already reached about 22 people, let's just start with the session. Others, can you move on to the next slide? So hello everyone. I'm Dhwani Gupta, and I'm the GDSC lead for MIT Jammu. MIT, it's Model Institute of Engineering in Jammu and Kashmir, and I'm also the ASJ facilitator for this year's program. You can connect with me on LinkedIn or Instagram via these handles. Next slide. So here we have my colleague Adarsh. He's a student at Government College of Engineering Nagpur, and he's the facilitator for their college. So you can connect with him on the following handles. And what's this study event all about? What we're here to discuss today is what this program, Android Study Jams, is, how we will go about it, how, you will be rewarded for all the things that you do during the course of this event. So, Android Study Jams are community organized study groups for people to do hands on learning for Android app development. I'll let you all know that I am also a beginner for Android development and I've already started this course, and trust me, it's really easy. Like when you start doing it, you will understand how easy and interactive Android development using this course is. So I'll hand over the podium to others to explain the statistics related to Android development and what are the basic things that you will learn. So over to you, Adarsh.
So here is the slide which will explain you about the opportunities which you will be getting after completing or during this Android Study Jam. You will be learning basics of Android development via the course Android Basics in Kotlin course, which has been developed by senior software developers working at Google. You will be able to solve real life problems by developing a collection of apps which you can definitely showcase in your portfolio, or you can upload it on Google Play Store by tweaking it a lot so that you can solve a real life problem. You will be getting guidance to optimize your app and deploy over Google Play. You will be also getting an opportunity to certify yourself. Apart from this, we will also be providing you a certificate which will be completely free. And this certificate, which has been shown over the slideshow, you will have to pay 80% of the total amount, and the 80% will you will get refund only if you are eligible, if you get selected for it. So what is the current scenario about the mobile ecosystem industry? 10 to 15 years before, mobile phone was a sci-fi. The only way people can connect with the surrounding was the website. No, now we are experiencing a digital transformation. Mobile phones are becoming powerful every day. Thus, where we are in a situation where we are experiencing a shift from website to application. Thus, there's a shift from website development to application development. Even during the COVID-19 situation, mobile phone industry was the only one to skyrocket. Smartphone users in India are expected to grow by 760 million by the end of 2021. India is a mobile phone market. So by this course, will prepare you for the market and to rule this market. Importance of mobile app development. Need to efficient and effective way to reach users. Websites are good, but they are not as good as the mobile phone application. Once installed, you will be able to control your users in a much precise manner. You can customize your notification, and it has been proven that with a mobile application, the total the total interactivity of users has increased. It will also help you to engage your customers everywhere, increase your visibility. Android is a vibrant ecosystem with more than 2.5 billion global active devices. Android continues to thrive as an innovative and open mobile platform built for everyone. Developers create amazing digital experience for Android users across the world. There are in total 2.5 billion active Android users, and they are increasing rapidly. What is Kotlin? Kotlin is an expressive, statically typed language for developers on Android and server. Introduced in 2010 by JetBrains, the team built IntelliJ. You must be knowing about the IntelliJ editor. The team which built the IntelliJ has developed the Kotlin language in 2010. So it has been around 10 years. Thus, we have a very great community of the Kotlin. Thus, it's currently the official language by the Google itself. It is free, open source, and has been used by over 5.8 million developers around the world. Kotlin is one of the most loved language in the world. This is the statistics of 2021. It 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 specifies that that Kotlin is one of the most loved language for the for the app development. It also helps us to write code which is much more effective and much vibrant. It helps developer to maintain their code base easily, and within few lines of code you can really achieve great things. It helps to it reduces the time by 20% spent on building, stabilizing, and after deploying the Kotlin due to fewer null pointer exceptions. The null pointer exceptions you'll be learning during the course. It's a very nice thing which has been introduced first by the Kotlin language. This thing was missing in Java. So you'll if someone is there with us who has developed apps using Java or any of the languages, you will definitely feel null point exceptions a very useful tool. It also helps to reduce the code by 30% compared to Java programming language, which serves time spent on code reviews or maintenance. During the internal survey, 50% of the developers mentioned that they have provided smaller estimate if the module was written in Kotlin language. 70% of the total apps written is currently with Kotlin language. Developers also prefer Kotlin language over any other source. Even the Google develops their apps using the Kotlin language. You may be thinking, as Kotlin is the official language considered by Google, so they only have single option, but no. Google has also introduced one more framework, which is React. Which is Flutter. You must be knowing it. And Flutter was released in 2016. Even though Google is having their own language, they use Kotlin. So I would like to call Dhwani to continue from here.
Thank you so much, Adarsh, for those fascinating statistics. I'm sure everybody here is motivated to learn more about what Android is, what Android development is. So we'll just start with the course basics of what this course will actually be for. So Ankita, to answer your question, the prerequisites of this course are a basic computer literacy. That means basic ability to build a code logic. Adarsh, can you mute yourself? Thank you. And please move on to the previous slide. I'll tell you when to move on. Yeah, thank you. And the second is basic math skills. So obviously, when you're trying to build a code logic, you use certain mathematical computations in your head or in your paper. So it's just like basic code building skills and basic mathematical skills to deduce that code. Other than that is, if you already know how to program, you can start off with Kotlin codes. So basically, you don't need any exposure to Kotlin, a prior exposure to Kotlin to start this course. You can actually start from the ground levels like I have and actually build apps. Next slide. Right. So this slides will show you a basic layout of what you will learn in this course. And trust me when I say this course is so easy, like in the first unit itself, you will learn to build at least 3 apps. So I'll just tell you how this course has been divided. There are 6 units in the course, and then there are pathways, and each pathways has certain tasks. So here the learning objectives are introduction to Kotlin. Obviously, you will start from ground zero to how you can build apps in Kotlin, what's the coding syntax for Kotlin. And it's not that different from the syntax that we have worked upon so far. I mean, if you're familiar with Java and if you're familiar with basics of C, C++, I'm sure you can write a Kotlin code. Then there is create your first Android app. Like I just told you, I mean, we create 3 apps in the first unit itself. And they are super duper easy and they are very interactive with the user. Build a basic layout. You will be creating your own birthday card app. I actually used this app for a friend of mine, and trust me, he was very happy about it. And then there is add a button to your app. you will be creating classes and objects, and you will be seeing them real life in an emulator. So basically, when you work on an Android app, if you want to see how this app looks when it is shown on a phone, then there is an option for that as well. It's called emulator. So you see this you see this mobile phone here, right? This mobile phone will be an emulator that will be associated with the code that you write. So whatever you type, you can see it real time how it will look on a phone screen. Isn't that exciting? Next slide. Right. So get user input. You will learn how to take input from users and how to build your app on that. Second app that you build in this first unit will be a tip calculator app. So basically, you take the amount of bill that you got at a restaurant. You can rate the service they gave, and then then the app will actually calculate the tip for you. Display a scrollable list. You can create lists, you can create navigation menus, navigation toolbars. Then there's navigate between screens. You can create tabs in your app. So basically, if you're using WhatsApp, you see there are a lot of tabs, right? Status, messages, calls. So you can build something like that within these 6 units. I mean, I don't say that you can build WhatsApp in these 6 units, but you can build something like that. Then there is intro to navigation component. Obviously, when you start working on Jetpack navigation components, you will learn how to manage your apps, how to your app to the internet. Next slide. Architectural components. Learn good app architecture principles by building a game app to unscramble words. So this is another app that you will building in the course of units. Now there's a very exciting thing when it comes to coding. There are two approaches. One is the hard coded approach. Second is the good coding approach. When you're hard coding everything, your code will be too lengthy and it will be like too jumbled even for you to understand. I mean, when you write about 70 lines of code, it's not that difficult. But when you write about 7,000 lines of code, it's very difficult to manage them if your code is not properly indented, properly commented. So it's very important to learn how to adapt good coding, uh, like good coding activities. So you should understand how important that is. Next is advanced navigation examples. Combine what you've learned so far in a more advanced app that demonstrates navigating between multiple screens. So whatever you learn in the first and second unit, that is building a birthday card app and then like creating a good architecture, you can then combine it into one single app. I mean, you're starting from ground zero and you're rising up levels, and you will be understanding the basics of Kotlin, basics of Android development in this course. Coroutines is a concept of Android apps, so I'll not go into the details of that because you will be learning it as you go through the course. Then get and display data from the internet. Now, this is one of the most exciting things that your app can do. Imagine you're connecting your app to internet and it can actually retrieve real-time objects. Now, that's something really exciting. I mean, if you want to like get location based services, if you want to know what are the restaurants near you using your app, you can do that by connecting your app to the internet. Next slide. Introduction to SQL, Room, and Flow. So obviously, if you're working on an app, there is something that has to go on the backend that can store the data, right? So SQL, Room, and Flow will help you understand how to work with the databases. Like I'm sure many of you would have heard about Firebase. So that is also a database, real-time database management. Use Room for data persistence. Use the Room library to allow your apps to read and write from a database. So you're creating a database and you're asking your app to read from that database. I mean, this is some advanced level programming that you will be doing. Like you're starting from the basics of it. Schedule tasks with Work Manager. Learn when and how to use Work Manager, an API that handles background work that needs to run regardless of whether the application process is still running. So now this is something that is really important when it comes to an app. Like if you're using Snapchat, like your filters and everything, location loads in the background. Whenever you open the app, it's already loaded. If I am going to suppose Pune, when I open my app, it already knows that I'm in Pune. These are some background tasks that you need to, incorporate into your app to make sure it is more user interactive. Next slide. Right. So now you all must be thinking, where do I start this? I mean, it's all too complicated, right? But it's not. Trust me. So, first thing that you need to do is create a developer's profile and make it public. I mean, this is not something that you will do just for the sake of doing it. You can actually show this in your resumes. A Google developer's public profile, you can just add the link, and when somebody is, checking your resume, when they open this link, they will see all the skill badges. I mean, you earn a lot of skill badges throughout this course, and these badges will show on your developer's profile. So my colleagues here will just paste the link of how to, open this, how to create your own account, and you can collect all these skill badges that are there in this course. You can share these achievements on LinkedIn. I mean, who doesn't want to, have lots of badges in LinkedIn? So you can just share those links in LinkedIn as well. Next slide. uh, what will my journey look like? So I just as I told you, there are units. Then each unit has certain pathways, and each pathways has certain activities and quizzes. And once you complete all the activities and the quizzes, you will get a skill badge. You can show the skill badge on your developer profile. You can show the skill badge on your LinkedIn. And once you complete all these units, pathways, quizzes, and badges, you will get certificate from your own facilitator that will be issued by Google Developer Student Class. Next. So this is what units looks like. Now, a lot of you might be thinking that if I've already done these units, what's in this program for me? So this year, Google developers have introduced two new units for people to, if they've already done it, it doesn't matter. You can do these two units as well, and you can earn the new skill badges. Next slide. So 6 units, each unit has certain pathways. This is the framework of the first unit. So you can see there are only 3 to 4 activities in one pathway, and there are about 3 to 4 pathways in each unit. So you will be doing, I mean, about 20 to 21 apps, and you will see your transition from a person who knows nothing about Kotlin to a person who is developing great apps. Next slide. Take a quiz. So these quizzes are not like IIT questions. They are not that difficult. These are some basics that you've learned through this pathway, you've learned through this unit in this lab, and you will just have to answer some theoretical basic questions. You can, if you face some problem, you can resubmit your quiz, or you can actually, question, you can just Google these questions and understand the concept of the question. If you'd like, I mean, there are a lots of ways to, go about quizzes, but I would suggest that you guys actually study the course and you do the quizzes honestly. Next slide. Earn badges. Like, this is the ultimate goal for this course. You will actually get these badges. You don't even have to paste them on your Google developers profile. They will just show up there, and you can share this Google developers profile anywhere. And once people see that you have so many Android related badges, I'm sure you will get a lot of appraisal about being an Android developer. Next slide. Right. So these are some of the other prerequisites. These are some basic prerequisites that you should have in order to, start the course. There's a computer, PC, laptop. Don't do it on phones. I would not recommend doing it on phones, because that's not, that will not give you the proper experience. You should have a good internet connection. One thing about computers is Android Studio takes up a lot of processing time and space. So please be sure that your processor can handle Android Studio. I mean, it doesn't, I mean, like, it's not that it's a huge software, but there is a lot of processing that is involved. I mean, you're using live emulator and your live coding, so that takes a lot of processing space. Android device and USB cable. So there are two options when it comes to, you being able to see your app. One is you can see it on the emulator. Second is you can connect your Android device using a USB cable to actually see what it looks like. So when you use your app, if you don't have a USB cable and an Android device, it's not a problem. What you can do is, once you create your app, you can export it as an APK file. APK files are the downloadable apps Like if you create a birthday card app and you want to share it with a friend, you can just export it as an APK. You can check on Google how to do that. I'm sure it will be covered in the course as well. You can check it out, and then you can send this APK file to your friend, and that friend can actually download your app and use it. Next is Android Studio. Obviously, you will be coding on Android Studio. So Adarsh will now explain the certification exam that can be taken up after this course, and how the like the prizes will be awarded. Over to you.
So yeah, before I start, I would say that we are also providing you a certificate. That certificate will be provided by the GDSC group itself. But if you want to certify yourself by the Google, then this is the criteria which you should follow. Uh, so registration Imagine were one of the following certificate associate Android. So Siddharth will be pasting the link for associate Android developer with Kotlin, and you have to provide a bill or receipt of the payment and copy of the completion of the certificate to validate completion. The certificate exam must be taken between December 1st, 2021 and March 10th, 2022. Not earlier attempts will not be considered. Only one certificate per candidate will be reimbursed up to 80% of the total certification fee. The certification shall be on the name of the applicant only. You are eligible to claim your reimbursement only if you have completed all the course until an earned developer batch of the completion. You have a public developer profile, and you have earned an ASJ facilitator from 2021-2022 batch of participant as ASJ or Android Study Jam 2021 to 2022 batch. The last date of course completion and to apply for the reimbursement is 10th of March 2022. Rewards for the students. As I mentioned earlier, we will be certifying you. The template will be shared to you soon, but apart from that, you can definitely certify yourself from the Google, and the course you will be getting a 80% concession over that only if you qualify all the criteria. You will first have to give a quiz, then you will have a meeting with or you can say you will have an interview with them. If you qualify both of that, that is quiz as well as the interview, you will only be getting that concession if you qualify for both of them. Otherwise you will have to pay the whole money, that is 11,000, and you may not be able to get the certificate as well. So keep in mind. Now, Siddharth will be sharing with you all the LinkedIn, all the social media handles, and you can follow us there. Dhwani, I would like to call Dhwani to continue from here.
Right, thank you. So to summarize what others just told us, there are two types of certificates. One is the certificate your facilitator will be issuing to you once you complete all the tracks. This is not, this is not restricted to GDSC MIT or GDSC Government College of Nagpur. All the facilitators who are, like registered with this Android campaign will be issuing certificates to all those people who complete the course. So if even if your college does not have an Android Study Jams program, you can get in touch with some other facilitator and they can guide you with the same. They can issue you the certificates also. If you're still there in this event, we would really love it if you could, like take a screenshot of the event at any point. If you have already taken it, share it on share it on your social media with all these hashtags, and you can tag Google Devzen. You can tag our Instagrams, and we would love to hear about the feedback of the event. The second certificate that is there is the Google Developer. It's the Google Android Developer Certification. So this certification is authentic Google work. We won't be a part of this process. It's entirely between you and Google. So if you clear the exam, like clear the coding exam, and then you clear the interview, then you will be able to avail the certificate, and about 80% of the fee will be reimbursed. So in about 1,500 bucks, you will be able to be a certified Android engineer from Google. So that's like an amazing opportunity if you avail it, if you seriously study this course. Now, at this point, we would really love to hear if there are any questions, and we would be happy to answer them. So you can just type them in the chat box, or you can type your questions in Q&A, and we can answer them. Anything about Android development, about this course, about certification? Are there any questions? We'll wait for 2 minutes, like till 6:30 for any questions. If not, then we'll close the session. Really like to thank you all for joining us today. I know Android study jams might seem like something very complicated, but once you get into it, it's really interesting. I mean, I started working on day one and I just completed unit one. It was like I couldn't stop myself from doing it because it was so sequential and so interesting. So we'll take up any questions. You can tag us on your social media when you share about this. When you share about this event, and we would love to hear your feedback about this session. If you don't have any questions, you can like give us a feedback also. So there's one question: could you explain the certification charges, and you could share the interview experience? So I have not done the exam myself as of now. I will be applying for it. The certification charges are about 11,000 bucks if you convert it to rupees. It's $150. So once you get clear the exam and you clear the interview, I mean, exams are more tough to crack than interviews. Interviews, you can just do it because at that point, they also know that you've cleared the certificate. That means you know about the thing, right? So there are two stages, and once you clear both the stages, you will get an Android certified, you will get a Google certified Android developer certificate. And once you present this certificate to Google developers before 10th March, you will be able to proclaim 80% of the reimbursement. So out of those 11,000 rupees, you will be reimbursed about 8 to 9,000 rupees. So this exam would just cost you about 1,500 to 2,000 bucks. That's the, that's the kind of thing they're going to give to you. Now, there are few prerequisites, as Adarsh already mentioned. You have to be a participant of the ASJ 21 campaign, and you have to complete all the tracks before you can proclaim this reimbursement. I mean, that is what your Google developers profile is for. We will be checking, the Google team will be checking your profile to make sure there are all the skill badges, and then like you can just send a mail with the receipt and the certificate for actually proclaiming the reimbursement. Is that okay, Ankita? Did I clear your doubt? Yeah, okay, that's great. So, anybody else? Any other questions? If you face any problem in the later stages, I'm sure your facilitator would be more than happy to help you. But if there is no facilitator at your campus, you can reach out to both of our chapters, or you can, as a matter of fact, you can reach out to any chapter that is having a facilitator, and I'm sure they'll be happy to help because at the end of the day, it's all about developing real time solutions for real problems. Also, your facilitators would be like having a program where they have to create an app and submit it at the end of this campaign. So be in touch with the facilitator and be sure to contribute to those apps. So as I can see, there are no any other questions, so we'll just close this session. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you, Adarsh, for joining in, and thank you, Siddhant, for your help with the pasting of links. And have a great day, guys. Take care. Bye bye.